So today I wanted to talk to you guys about a pretty intimate topic, but I also just feel like it's time to start doing more intimate topics on my channel and really utilizing my knowledge and things that I can actually share with you guys. So for those of you who are new here, I specialize in holistic health and also intuitive detox. I have a lot of background on holistic living and just all around well-being. Also just a lot of wisdom when it comes to lessons in life that can be pretty challenging, especially things that we go through internally that we can't really talk about out loud. So I honestly just want to normalize the fact that these type of fears, these type of doubts are normal and it's just not talked about a lot. So today we're going to be talking about the fear of judgment. So before I get started with the 8 ways of how to overcome judgment, I want you guys to let me know down in the comment section and also just have it there for other people. Has there ever been a time where you felt judged and you didn't proceed with something, or you felt like you were being judged for some actions or things that you've said or done in the past, or just, it doesn't even have to be in the past. It can be currently that you feel that you are always judged by people. Let me know down in the comment section so that other people who have never spoken about this out loud can actually see that there are many people going through the fear of judgment. Pause this video and comment down below a time where you felt like that you were judged and you didn't want to proceed with something that you had in your mind or something that you really wanted to do, and you didn't proceed with it because you felt that you were going to be judged by family, friends, or whoever. Even judgment that you put on yourself. So first I want to basically talk about what fear of judgment even means. Basically what it is that you fear judgment from others because you seek validation in other people or other things. Basically, you're seeking validation outside of yourself. And we all do it. Like I said, this is not a video where I'm just like, you know, attacking you guys. We have all been there before, which is why I can speak so candid about the situation, because I definitely have been there before. So I've noticed that once you learn to accept, love, and respect yourself and know who you are, it's pretty hard for judgment to withstand. It simply just doesn't hold as much weight, and it's not as important when you hear judgment from others or feel, because you can feel without even someone speaking, that people are judging you. It doesn't hold as much weight because you know who you are. Ultimately, us human beings love to be accepted, we love to be seen, we love to be heard, we love to be appreciated for who we truly are. It makes us feel good to know that people respect who we are as a person and we don't have to put on a fake show or anything. They just accept us for who we truly are, which is why family is so important and close loved ones are so important, because those are the people who know you and accept you, flaws and all. But it's also super painful when you are who you truly are and people put judgment on you. So there are times when people are brought up in strict households, strict families, that they want to be a certain way, they want to be who they are, but in front of that family member or in front of those types of friends, it's just not possible. They just don't feel as though they can, because those people who they are around will judge them. Or from an influencer standpoint, maybe you want to be who you are on the internet, but you just can't be who you are. A lot of celebrities go through this, which is why we find out that celebrities are like on drugs or they're like struggling with depression, and you're probably thinking to yourself the whole time, like, how is that person struggling with depression or not happy and they literally have everything? It's because they don't have everything. Today I wanted to cover 8 ways to overcome the fear of being judged. I have my journal here because I am a person who writes a lot of stuff down. And if you guys want to see a video on how I do journaling, then just comment down below and like this video if you are into these type of topics. Number 1 thing I want to mention is define yourself. Don't allow others to define you. So one thing to overcoming being judged or feeling judged is to know who you are. I know that sounds so cliche, like, okay, wow, like clicking out of this video, she's just gonna say the exact same thing that you see on like the quotes, but it's true. And honestly, this is something that I really stick by, because when you allow people over time to start defining who you are as a person, you start to deeply care about what other people think. You have to ask yourself, what are my core values? Who am I? What's important to me? Get to know yourself and take back your power, because when you allow people to define you and you allow people to put labels on you, you actually give a little piece of your power away each time you do that. It's important to always know what your intentions are behind everything that you do. Make sure that you know who you are, what intentions are you putting out when you do things, and acknowledge that some people are just gonna view you in a certain way, even though that's not even who you are. If your intentions are pure, if you did everything out of a good intent, then you honestly don't have much to worry about. And I also just want to point out that a lot of people's opinion is formed off the back of their insecurities that they may have, or their life experiences that they may have gone through. And a lot of times that's not even how they truly feel. That's just how they feel in the moment, based on how they're feeling at that moment. So a few years later, you might meet that person again and their opinion might be completely different, because maybe they did some self-work, or they're just not the same person anymore, or simply they just don't even care. What mattered to them a few years ago just doesn't matter as much anymore. So I want you guys to answer these 3 questions. First, I want you guys to find out, what are your core values? What's important to you? Next, I want you guys to figure out who you are. For example, are you a leader? Are you more of a poised person that doesn't really react too crazy when it comes to issues? These are things that you need to find out about, and you need to know if they are who you are, honestly. Next thing I want you guys to figure out is who you are not. When you define these 3 things, you're going to know, bam, 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 this is who I am. This is what I resonate with the most. So when someone says, oh, you're a liar, oh, you know, you don't do anything but like follow behind others, or oh, you're this, you're that, you can know that you've already established who you are, and none of those things of what that person is saying is correct or valid to you, because you are not any of those things. You know that you're not, and you never act out of the intent of being those things. Number 3 is pretty hard to like come to terms with, because we do think that everyone is worried about us. Number 3 is that people really don't care. You think that they care about your life and how you're doing things, and then you find out that they're more self-involved with what they have going on. Unless you're super close to a person, they most likely do not care what's going on with you. It's just the honest truth. Most of the time, people are just worried about what they have going on, their goals in life, where they want to be in life. And yes, there are some people that are overly worried about other people, but honestly, you don't have to worry about those type of people, because they normally have such lost sense of self that they don't get far. It just comes to the conclusion that people are going to place judgment on you, but they're not going to be thinking about you a few months, a few years, or sometimes not even a few days after they place that judgment on you. So don't even worry about it. They're probably not worried about it, so why should you? Number 4 is to pay attention to your thoughts. A lot of times your mind can take you on like the wrong path and have you feeling as though everyone is judging you, everyone is looking at you this certain way, when that's not true. You're just probably overthinking in that moment, which is okay. We all do that. But just give yourself a little bit compassion in knowing that in that moment you're pretty much overthinking, and don't allow it to take over your entire life to where it becomes a like steady value in your life. This is what it is. This person said this about me. It must be true. It must be who I am. So ask yourself, is the judgment an actual reality? And if it's not an actual reality, if it's not who you are, then it just doesn't need to be in your presence. Which leads me to number 5, seek the right feedback. Now, when I say this, you want to make sure that you are getting feedback from people who actually care about you, or from someone who you know is a credible source and that they can actually help you through your challenges or when you start to go down that path of overthinking. Remember that some things that you go through in life are not going to always be favorable to you. Some feedback that you receive is not going to always be positive, or not going to always be, you know, the most great thing that you can ever hear. But you have to ask yourself, is this like judgment or this feedback that you just received actually something that you can learn from, and actually something that you can kind of look at and see, well, you know, did I actually act that way? And if I did, how can I learn from this situation? Number 7 is to embrace embarrassment. Now, this is something that I really struggled with because I don't like feeling embarrassed. It's like everyone experiences embarrassment some way or another. There's some things where people's like, oh my God, that's so embarrassing. And then like me, I'm like, no, it's not embarrassing. But to that person, it's embarrassing. So people will laugh and they will forget. You don't have to worry about someone constantly thinking about that moment when you fell down the stairs 10 years ago. Most of the time, like I said, people laugh about things. You see it on the internet all day long, Twitter. You have like people upset about things, and then the next day they're on to the next issue. You know, there's some things that just won't be forgotten if you do something too terrible. But small things that are just laughable to some people in that moment, just let them laugh. You don't have to sit and ponder on it. But you're not gonna always be at your best 100% of the time. That's impossible. That's not even a part of the human experience. So those are the 8 ways to kind of combat and just kind of look at the ways that judgment is and how you don't have to allow it to define you. And these ways help me, and I'm sure that they will help you as well if you examine them and do the work to figure out, why is it that judgment from others is so important to you? And it dictates your life if you allow it to get too far. If you don't know who you are, that's fine. But just do the work to try to find out who you are. You can even travel, do certain things, just find out who you are. I traveled to a different country and I found out while I was there that I have a really big humanitarian heart, because when I was there, I realized that I hated seeing people like on the street. So there are certain things that you can learn about yourself through experiences. Your experiences will tell you a lot about yourself, how you deal with them, and how you react to them. So question of the day is, in what ways do you judge yourself? I also want to know, in what ways have you ever judged others? Because we've all been there where we've judged others. When I was younger, I could be a little bit judgmental. I'm not normally just like a judgmental person because I'm such an open-minded person, but there definitely has been times where I've judged others. So when is a time where you've judged others, and have you realized, like now that you're at a different point in your life, that that was wrong for you to do as well? So it's important to know the details of those 2 questions, and also the ones that I asked you guys in the beginning, so that you can get a better idea of how you feel about this subject when it comes to yourself versus others. Guys, I hope that you enjoyed this topic. If you did, then give this video a thumbs up. Really excited to hear what you guys have to say. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.